Hello, my name is Stephen Blacklock of the company Glue Stitch Incorporated, and I have the pleasure today to be with Dr. Ramon Gomez Meda, periodontist. Dr. Meda, good evening.
Good evening. How are you, Stephen?
Very well. It's good to be with you again. And we have a short video of PeriAcryl being used in some of your surgeries. Let's have a look. So I'd like you to just give a brief commentary over the video of the use of PeriAcryl in some of your surgeries.
Mhm. Yeah, Stephen, I love to use PeriAcryl. For me, it's a kind of dressing, very useful when I mainly when I don't have the opportunity to use other other devices like a vacuum stand, for example. And here we see some surgeries where the graft is exposed, or I didn't have the time to prepare the surgical stent, or it's very complicated or almost impossible to use it. For example, here I just harvested a huge CTG from the palate. Sometimes not everything in the surgery is well planned, and you need more tissue that you thought previously about. In this other surgery, as you can see, the CTG is exposed, and this in this kind of situations, we don't have a way to protect the CTG with other device, or it's too expensive. With a PeriAcryl, I can do it very easily in a matter of seconds, and to stabilize, not only to protect, but to stabilize also the CTG. For example, here you can see several CTGs done after extracting several teeth for a full mouth rehabilitation with immediate loading. The provisional is going to be delivered in a couple of hours. But of course, with a new temporary restoration opportunity to use a stent, not the opportunity to protect my CTG. And the CTG is exposed in several areas. So I need to protect those areas in order to increase the predictability of the mucogingival surgery. In those kind of situations, procedures, I love this material, this dressing, surgical dressing, and it's quite easy, very easy for any dentist to use it. You need only a humid gauze or a spray in order to set it very quickly in a matter of seconds. So as you can see, I chosen several surgeries where, for example, right now we are observing a socket preservation, but where I want to boost the gingiva, and a huge part of the CTG is exposed. I don't want to mobilize the mucogingival line. So you can see the result very easily in a few minutes. Everything was done, and that's the way I'm using the PeriAcryl. And these are several surgeries in order to illustrate my workflows in this kind of procedures.
Now, how does the PeriAcryl application look after 2 weeks or whenever you see the patient the next time? And how do you remove it?
I try to mix. This is a kind of interesting question. I try to mix the PeriAcryl with the sutures in order to be sure that in a few days it is still there. But do not worry too much about the time, because we all know for sure that after 3 days, a CTG is already revascularized, or any kind of mucogingival surgery. So you don't have to worry about the 2 weeks period, or even the 10 days period, or 7 days. If our dressing is there for only a few days, is more than enough. But in order to be sure that it's gonna be there, what I do is to mix the PeriAcryl with the sutures. And that's the reason sometimes I leave my sutures a little bit open. In that way, I'm also sure that the tissues are not very tight. I do not compromise the vascularization. And I usually say, I usually can see after 1 week the periacryl there with the sutures, and it's quite easy to cut the sutures, to cut the knots, and to remove everything in few seconds.
And you were speaking about how quickly you can set the periacryl with a humid gauze or with a spray. Would you only put one layer, or do you apply multiple layers?
No, as we saw, we're seeing throughout the videos, I usually apply around 3, 4 layers. I set every layer and apply it once again. Even so, you can see that it takes less than 1 minute to do that. It's quite easy because my assistant is helping me to set the dressing, so it's done that very very quickly. Once you get used to it, it's something I would say automatic, you know.
Well, Dr. Maida, I want to thank you very much for your time today. We saw a number of different procedures where you were using periacryl in some different ways, and you gave us some tips. Thank you very much for your time. And just to let everybody know that our viewers today can follow you on Instagram at the information we're putting below, or check out your website for more information about your practice and some of your lectures.
It's been a pleasure, Stephen. Have a
All
nice
right, well,
day.
thank you very much.